sometime in February. The 26th, it's a Monday. I feel healthy. We get to a story about attacking people today. B points and grades are updated. Since I was only here 2 days last week, and I was not really mentally alive those 2 days, I did not count last week as like going a week without losing points. So I did not count it against people. I just sort of reset and we went from there. So if your B points did not change, that's why. Grade-wise, we only really had the nonfiction bully articles. But I am like all caught up on missing work. Like I had no one in this class missing anything. So, and no one in here missing Simpson sheets. Like I get to, be like nice to everybody today. It's like a whole new start. Oh, and if you go to the game tonight, it is our house point game. Does get a house point, does get B point. I will be on the 8th grade side because I'm coaching it, but Mrs. Butch will be over on the 7th grade side, so you can go to either one. 8th grade team is finishing out their undefeated season. We're hoping to get up on the wall. And the 7th grade team is hoping to play basketball tonight, and then we'll get a chance to go from there.
That was hilarious. Wait, who you guys played tonight?
We played Sciensville. No one to torture there in this class. So, Charger Challenge. It's tomorrow. I should have told you last week, but I was dead. So I apologize. It's sort of a last-minute thing. I do have invitations I'll be handing out here in just a moment. Again, if you were student of the week since the first time, and again, this is for the second 9 weeks, even though we're almost done with the third 9 weeks, but we just could not get one scheduled due to teacher issues, but we're finally getting the one for the second 9 weeks. If you got an invitation previously, you can still use it. You are still good to go for this one. I have the list of who had those invitations. You can sign up starting at 4 o'clock today. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., it opens to anybody who had a C or higher during the second 9 weeks. Not right now, but way back in the second 9 weeks if you are wanting to sign up. And in here, Rahil, you are on the alternate list, so you're automatically on the list if you're good to go for tomorrow. And then Reese, you're still on the list if you're good to go for tomorrow also. I know we canceled practice tomorrow, so I don't know if you guys canceled practice.
I think you should beg them to.
I would say the same thing. If you need, I can talk to him to get you out and say that we need you for this activity. And so I will do what I can for you on that one too. So I'll try to help you out. Those of you who get new invitations, shit, God, it's fighting me. Stop. I have Ramos. You have invitation. It's going to require walking or long fingers. Felipe, I have one for you. Rager, I have one for you. And Connolly, I'm dead. Oh, never mind then. And that's it for this class. Because most of this class got their invitations the first time. You guys were like one of the leading ones, so we didn't have quite as many this time. Questions on Charger Challenge, Matthew?
So, if, like, for example, what if not enough people sign up since it's tomorrow night?
Uh-huh.
Could people, like, still go in if they...
Have done it before? It's possible. And if I can't get anyone new to sign up and you come see me towards the end of the day, I would be like, Matthew, come save us. And you'd be like, I can do that. And everything will be good.
Wait,
sure, I am fine with that.
Can you do it for the fourth quarter? Because you said fourth quarter is for everybody. And how come I didn't get an invitation? I have to make it for you.
Because you already did it.
Oh, so you don't do it.
Correct. If you've already gone, you don't get a new invitation.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Can I what? I do. If you want to see me at the end of class, I can dig one out for you. And then you can give that one back to Emery.
The popcorn?
Yeah, good stuff. On my desk over there. Welcome back to Life, Jolie. All right, so now we're good to go. Charger Challenge. Hopefully from there, those of you who have it, just come see me at the end of the day, 4 o'clock, and you can sign up and we can make it official. Or you can send me a remind if you can't, get your actual legs to move. Rahil.
So I'm already on the list.
You're already on the list as long as you're good. You don't have to tell me you're fine. You would just tell me that you can't do it. So that's now you're good. Okay. Camp Tecumseh. I have the update list of who still owes things. If you need a permission slip, I have them sitting on my desk, and you are welcome to go over and grab permission slip if you know you need one. As of now, this week, Stars and Globetrotters are filling in their friend list, which means I get to start making groups at end of this week. If you have not turned in permission slip, that is going to impact you being in a group. because I cannot put you in a group until permission slip is turned in. And if you're is that going to be for me? Just put it on my desk and you'll be good to go. So then I'm going to go through that list, and then your goal is, I would say if your permission slip is in by end of this week, you should be safe. If you wait until later next week, things are going to start getting iffy each week depending on how quickly your group of people fills up. Josie. You will be with your cabin group. So whoever's in your cabin is also on your bus. And that may be people in your group, it just depends. But everyone in your cabin is also on the same bus. Because you just go straight off the bus onto cabin. Jojo.
So can I read you my,
Friend list?
yeah.
Have we already had drama?
Yeah.
As we get closer, yes, we can talk about doing that.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Stand up and do something on my phone?
Well, it's not open, so you can't do it right now anyway.
Oh, can you open it like
No, later, yes, and I will let you know. I am sure you're not the only 7th grader who may have had some drama. Hi, Summer. I said drama, and you raised your hand. Now she just has to give it to us. All right, so you don't need that one then?
No.
No.
She returned it in too.
Could be. So, and again, I'm not the one that has control of it, so I will write down your name. She says it's turned in.
She said everything's done.
All right, I have a list of kids that they're going to double check, and I will have them double check. Yes, Mate.
for work, doesn't it, like, if they're work?
Yes, their work number.
Like,
So that way, if like you get hurt during the day, we can contact them.
well, what if they don't?
Then you just don't have to worry about that one.
Just say no work?
Yeah.
Can I please look at my dad's number real quick?
That's fine. All right. Now let's get back to stories. I think we get to fun stories today, so we got past that. Got past that. So we get past this. We got to there. So let's do the speedy version to see what you guys remember, just to refresh our brains. Jovial comes from which Greek god? His Roman name was? Done. Jovial means?
On top of the world.
Cereal comes from which Greek god?
Peter.
Roman name was? And cereal means? Grain. Volcano comes from? Whose Roman name was? Definition of volcano.
A mountain of fire.
So, why is a mountain of fire connected to him?
Because he's master of the forge. Yeah, he goes in the mountain.
There you go. Hiding inside mountain, and then Rarg, and then Rarg.
Hermes.
Mercurial comes from? Whose Roman name was?
Mercury.
And it means to?
Fast to deliver. Yeah.
Like this. The face.
What's on the caduceus staff?
A snake wing. Snake wing. Snake wing on ambulances.
And where do we know it now?
On ambulances.
Hospital.
There you go. And then the one on an ambulance is actually slightly different.
There's one snake.
And no wings and just one, because technically they have 2 different snake sticks. And then
The face.
fatal comes from?
3 faces.
There's 3 of them.
Two
And this is
like
from the Hercules movie where they did the whole. Oh, also if you, I hate to say it, the Percy Jackson movie, not the TV show, but I know in the movie they also had the 3 faces. They were driving like a taxi cab that was going all over. So,
They were switching eyes.
yeah, same group of people. The main difference that is wrong in the movie was the fact that they showed them cutting the string to try and kill Hercules, but that's not how you kill people in Greek mythology. What happens when you cut the string?
It
shows
shows how long
you
it's
are.
actually here.
That
It's
is the
actually the hair.
day you are born. So cutting of the string, it was, and then pop, you would pop into the world, and then you would be born. And so that tells us how long you are supposed to live. So if you are in an accident and they say that your string is up and it was a fatal accident, what's happened to you?
You died.
This is where you be dead. And so that's where fatal comes in. Now let's get to our fun new stuff for today.
That's our eye.
So Iris, this goes back to White Sheet. We're going to see if you can figure out which god we get Iris from.
Rainbow. Messenger of hero.
So what god does it come from? Good job. So Iris comes from Iris, whose Roman name was also Iris. Yeah, they weren't really creative on that one. Now, Iris is connected to another god. And connected to... Oh, it's on the White Sheet. Some people figure it out.
Hera.
What did she do for Hera?
Messenger.
So we've already technically talked about a messenger. Who was the other messenger?
Hermes.
So this dude, Hermes, and those of you who already know about Greek mythology, some of this will be a review. But I know there's kids in this class who are experiencing it for the first time, so I'm trying to help them out too. But Hermes, guy over here, was messenger for Zeus, guy over here. Zeus was married to Hera, who is the one right here. They did not have a very good marriage. And so oftentimes Hera would want to send a message on her own, so she wanted to have her own messenger. Zeus had his, and she said, hey, women's lib, I get my own too. And so she got her messenger, which was Iris. Now, turns out, Iris was also known as the rainbow goddess, because whenever she came down to Earth and a message was sent down, you would see a rainbow. There's a story behind it.
We'll get to that.
We don't always, no, we're going to get to it now. You don't always see rainbows whenever there's rain. Only certain situations. When do you see a rainbow?
When the sun's up.
Nicely done. So it has to be when it's rainy and sunny. Here's the reason why. According to Greek mythology, Zeus was a very friendly person. And so I will talk about Zeus's friendships a lot. Hopefully you can read between the lines and understand what Zeus's friendships are. If not, again, you can talk to your health teacher, and they can explain that in a class about what friendship is when a boy and a girl like. Anyway, and so Zeus had a lot of friendships, but he didn't want to upset his wife, so he tried to hide his friendships from his wife as much as possible. So whenever Zeus would come down to Earth and he would make a new friend, he would try to prevent his wife from seeing it so that she wouldn't yell at him. And being the god of thunderclouds and storms, whenever he came down and found a friend, he would then put a storm cloud above wherever he was, because his wife was living up on Mount Olympus, and being the smart man that he was, he figured storm clouds, she couldn't see him, he would get away with things scot-free. Turns out his wife was not an idiot. So whenever she was up on Mount Olympus and she would look outside and there would be a perfectly sunny day except for one storm cloud over a woman's house, she got rather suspicious, as women do. So she would want to check to see what was going on. And so she would talk to her local snitch, Iris, and she would say, hey, would you mind going down and seeing why there's a rain cloud over this one particular house in this one neighborhood? And then that's when Iris would come shooting down to Earth to come check out what was going on. That's why you only see rainbows whenever there's a storm cloud on a nice day. So whenever you see a rainbow now, you know it's because Zeus is nearby making a friend. So now the next time you're driving along with your parents and they see a rainbow, you can go, Zeus is making a friend. And they're going to go, what? And you can go, well, Mommy, when a man and a woman, and she goes, no! And you can have this weird bonding situation, and that's how education works.
No.
Summer, you look troubled by education.
About double rainbows.
So double rainbows, I don't know. I can come up with something if you want.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure whatever I come up with is going to give you more nightmares than what you already have. We'll just not worry about double rainbows. We have two definitions of iris. One, you've all brought with you. Eyeball. What part of the eyeball?
The iris.
Good job.
The muscle.
So it's named after the rainbow god. So it's not going to be the black part of the eye if it's named after the rainbow god. And it's not going to be the white part of the eye. It's going to be the part of your eye that looks like a rainbow. There is another definition of iris, which some people know. Well, grandparents, well actually grandmas would usually know it.
Snitch. Cookies.
Wow. Yes. Anytime that you're in prison and you rat somebody out, they always look at you and go, Iris! Because Iris means, no, that does not mean snitch. By the way, it is where we get Ireland from. Because Ireland is connected to the land of rainbows and irises.
And the leprechauns.
And the leprechauns.
Like me.
Because leprechauns are from Greek mythology.
Wait. Does that mean I have to stop from making friends?
So I looked up the iris because now I have no idea why this one gets called the god of rainbows as opposed to like carnations or roses, which also come in different colors. but apparently irises are known for their variety of natural colors they come in, hence being named after the rainbow god. I took a close-up picture of my eyeball for you so you can see.
That's not you.
That's your
That is not you.
That was too big.
Your eyes are too clear.
You guys have missed yelling at me. So again, this is the part named after the rainbow god. This is called
Pupil.
now, I don't know who paid attention in science. This part is
This is sclera.
Cornea.
Sclera. Sclera.
yeah, not cornea. Cornea is on the inside of the eye. I would have to cut it open. But that's just called the sclera, which is the white part of the eye.
Cornea's in that.
It's on the outside. The cornea's on the outside.
I don't teach science.
The cornea's where you're.
If you close your eyes, it's on the inside.
That's what you're telling me.
Some astute observation.
Thanks.
I said your bones can be proud.
Stop using psychology.
But it's so much more effective. Music and museum comes from.
The muses.
Who are the muses?
I said first.
They're like
I have no
Apollo's
clue.
like nine.
Nine gods, each of whom embodied an aspect of
Yeah,
the humanities
art, like
and
art
arts
and
as part of the
music.
Wow,
people,
Kyle,
the
that's
Dusty
very
immortals.
So, with this, the muses were these 9 goddesses who were in control of art. They did work along with Apollo.
Yeah,
And
that's what
the
I'm
way, we're going to get to a story eventually that apparently humans were made of mud, and we had like magic dust
Oh,
sprinkled
yeah.
on us, and we came to life and danced around like
The
little
Prometheus
Pinocchios.
story.
And so, with that, the Greeks believed humans had no innate artistic ability. If I, according to the Greeks, if I were to give a paintbrush to Crawford and go paint a beautiful picture, Crawford would walk up and be like, "Hey, I got this." He would just slap a paintbrush against it, and nothing would happen. The Greeks believed that if Crawford wanted to have beautiful artwork, he would then pray to the muses. And they had 9 because each one controlled their own area. There's a muse of like sculpting, of dancing, of poetry, of writing, and he would pray to the muse of painting. And the way they believed it would work is the muse would possess your body like a ghost. You couldn't see them, and they would work you like a little puppet.
act it out, by
And
the way.
Crawford would sit there and be like, muses, please inspire me. And he'd pick up his paintbrush and go, okay. And the muse would go like, whoom. He'd like, Mona Lisa. And he would then have this wonderful painting. Then the muse would step out of his body. But if you've ever seen like the movie Ghostbusters, like leave like a little residue, same thing would happen here. And as the muse left Crawford's body, they would still leave like this artistic ability left in him. And it would last for a while until eventually it would run out. Have you heard of writer's block?
Yeah.
That's how they explained it. Writer's block was when your muse had left you and all of that leftover muse goo, I don't make it weird, would leave you. Then that's when Crawford would have to pray to the muses again. They would come and repossess him, and that was like this ongoing thing. Some people could hold on to that muse ability for years. Others of you, it was like a really quick thing. So if you ever heard sound that was really beautiful, it was not made by a human. It was made by a muse. And so if you see artwork, artwork is not made by humans. Artwork is made by muses. It's like, according to the Greeks, if you gave a human credit for the artwork, it's like giving credit to the paintbrush and being like, well, I didn't paint that painting, this paintbrush did. I just held it in my hand. It was the same thing. You were the paintbrush, the muse did all the work. So music literally just means sound created by muses. A museum is a building full of artwork created by muses. Because humans were not capable of creating this stuff.
That's not true. Isn't there one of astronomy as well?
A muse of astronomy?
Yeah.
Could be. There's 9 of them. I didn't memorize them all. I know there's like 3 different ones for poetry because they loved poetry. Summer.
Would they always come?
No. And there's some people you'd be like, I would pray to the muse and then I would do my drawing and it'd be like a stick figure and I'm like, well, muses didn't inspire me. Or they did inspire me and that was the best I could do. And so yeah, that's how it works. June comes from
Oh, the month.
Hera.
Hera, because what's Hera's Roman name?
Juno.
Juno. What is she the god of?
Marriage.
Yeah, like
Marriage
Summer.
and childbirth.
Marriage and childbirth.
Joke, guy.
So Hera, whose Roman name was Juno,
Aphrodite.
she's the one up here. Her biggest thing she's known for is being Mrs. Zeus. Again, she's also over here, right behind where
And she's
Sienna
being mean.
is. There's
She's also known for being
Mrs.
mean.
Zeus. And then over here behind Matthew,
Peacock.
Hera there, Mrs. Zeus. But she does have her own area she is in control of, which was childbirth and marriage. But the Greeks also, again, love irony. She's the god of marriage. Why is that ironic?
Because she hates her marriage.
Her marriage is awful. Probably the worst marriage in all of Greek mythology. And they're like, what? You have a horrible marriage? God of marriage. And she's like, I hate you. Like, that's okay. We're not done. You also get to be the god of childbirth. And she was like, you really hate me. Because
She never had one.
she does. She has 4. But in almost every story we're going to get into, the one thing she spends her time doing,
Chasing Jews.
trying to kill babies. Her favorite activity was killing babies.
I like killing babies.
The reason being is because
They were
most of the
Zeus.
babies that belonged to her husband were not hers. So she spent a lot of time trying to get rid of children that may not have belonged to her, of which there were only 4. So that's why, again, irony. She has 4 children, her husband has thousands of children, and you're like, Mr. Brovicast, that doesn't... friendship. And so, again, Zeus was a very friendly person. Now, the reason the month is connected to her is being the god of marriage. When a woman was wanting to get married, you would pray to Hera, like, hey, I want to have a good wedding. Back during this time period, most of your weddings would be outside. And you want to make sure it's not too cold or too rainy. But if you wait too long into the year, it's going to get really hot out. So there was this perfect time of the year that was between the rainy season and the really hot season. And this time of the year was when most women got married. And it became known as the time of Juno. Eventually, instead of calling it the time of Juno, they call this time
June.
And that's where, even today, there are more weddings in the month of June than like all of the other months combined. It is the #1 month for marriage. It is crazy. It still carries over to today. Yes.
Didn't she like Hermes? Isn't Hermes the only person that she liked outside?
It depended. She got along with him until he did a thing there where he killed the Argus and stuff like that with the cow, and so she ended up getting grumpy. They all got grumpy with each other. There's only like 2 gods we're going to get into that have no bad things.
Athena and Zeus.
Hestia is, no, Athena made choices.
And Dionysus.
Hestia is one of the only gods that was a nice person who has like no bad
What
stories.
about Pan? Pan isn't really a god.
Pan is the person that
Pan is the god of mischief. So yeah, he had lots of choices.
What about Artemis?
Artemis?
Artemis.
We'll get to Artemis.
She was pretty,
Let's go with mind.
she crushed a lot.
Comes from an Olympian.
Athena.
What's her Roman name? So mind comes from Athena, whose
Teacher, you
Roman
have
name
one
is
Athena.
Minerva.
Is it
With
Madonna?
Athena, she is the one that's above Sienna over here in the brown. So I cannot explain this poster. I have no idea why they did it this way because Athena is not a horse, nor is she a midget. But she looks like a midget fighting a horse. She was a normal-sized god. I think it's supposed to be perspective, where she's like behind the horse, pulling it backwards, but it's just weird artwork. Over here, this is Athena, by the way. That is an owl on her shield and an owl above her
That's a
hand.
golden snitch.
Why would she have owls?
Because she's
wisdom.
Going back to motifs and wisdom. Above Jolie, she's the one that's up here. On her shoulder is again an owl. On the shield, you'll recognize
Medusa.
the face with snake heads, which would be Medusa, because she gets connected to that one.
Yeah.
Here is where I get to give you one of my first-ish stories about how Athena gets born. There's my Medusa shield down there too.
Yeah. Oh, she pops
So-
out of somebody's mouth.
With how, those of you who know a version of the story is how Athena came to be. Those of you who don't know, allow me to entertain you. This story goes all the way back to a young boy by the name of Zeus. Zeus had recently taken over as the king of all the gods, married Hera, and he decided to celebrate his marriage in his favorite way, by getting a girlfriend. And so Zeus goes out and gets a girlfriend by the name of Metis, M-E-T-I-S, which was this other Titan girl. And he and Metis hang out for a while, and he explains to Metis that she is what's known as a side piece. and he goes, hey, we're gonna have to sort of keep this on the down low because if my wife finds out, she's gonna get all grumpy. Metis was good with that. Years go by of their friendship, no major issues, till one day, Metis comes up to Zeus and goes, hon, I have good news. And he goes, what's your good news? And she goes, I'm pregnant. And he goes, I thought you said you have good news. And she said, what? He goes, that's a joke. And he goes, okay, we should celebrate this good news. And she goes, yes, we should. He goes, how about we go on a picnic? And she goes, I love picnics. And he goes, I do too. Zeus's thinking is he can't have her going around giving birth, because if she gives birth, that's called evidence of friendship. And he does not want to have evidence of his friendship. So he needs to get rid of this baby. The problem is when the baby's born, he can't just stab it. And why can he not just stab it?
Gods are immortal.
Yeah, it's an immortal god baby. So if you stab it, you just have a baby on a stick. And you're like, whee! It just becomes a grumpy baby. But it does not solve the problem. Your other thought is, well, Mr. Broviac, obviously you just kill your girlfriend. I like your thinking. Why does that not work here? Right, now you just have an angry girlfriend on a stick. And that's not going to work out either. So Zeus decides he's going to have to get creative to solve this problem. And Zeus is good at creative. So he goes, all right, let us have a little picnic. So he makes a little picnic with some Capri Suns and some pretzels and some ham sandwiches. And he goes, tomorrow we're going to go for a picnic out into the woods. Deep into the woods. In the backest, farthest, darkest part of the woods. She goes, the darkest part? He goes, yeah, it's dark because it's romantic. And she goes, aww. And he goes, yeah, that worked? Okay, perfect. And tomorrow we're going to find out what happens when you go on a picnic with Zeus.